Rengoku's death was the best thing that could have happened to Demon Slayer. I know, for most fans it felt like a slap in the face. He had just been introduced, he was strong, kind, and instantly loved. And then, within the same arc, gone. Too fast, too unfair. That's what people thought as the credits rolled and silence filled theaters around the world. But that was the point, because Demon Slayer needed to prove something, and it did it in the most brutal way possible. And if you're still wondering how I can call that brilliant, well, that's exactly what I'm about to show you. The first episodes of Mugen Train felt safe. Tanjiro being himself, trying to be kind, Inosuke acted like everyone insulted his mom, Zenitsu being, well, Zenitsu. Then Rengoku steps in, all fire and joy. The guy eats bento boxes like they're candy.
Tasty! Yeah, we heard you.
He laughs, he encourages, he radiates power and stability. Just watching him gives you a weird sense off. Everything's gonna be fine. But here's the twist. That's the trap. The story lulls you into comfort, so it can yank that comfort away when you least expect it. The train demon is beaten, you expect credits, the happy ending moment, but then Akaza shows up. He isn't a mini-boss, he's a monster. Faster, louder, stronger than anything we've seen. His punches shake the air. Rengoku fights with everything. Fire, slashes, blood, grit, pure will. And the others? They are non-brainers this time. All they can do is watch. And the whole time we're sure there's no way he dies. We did not even thought about it. As we saw Rengoku pierced by Akaza through his stomach, it got tense. Because we know from more than one anime there's always a chance to survive this, right? But after Tanjiro tried to help and telling Rengoku to control his breath, he said,
"No. Very soon, I'll be dead."
This is where illusions break. The idea that the Hashira are untouchable is gone. And with that, Demon Slayer becomes dangerous. But let me tell why this worked so good. The real weight isn't just story mechanics, it's psychological. Rengoku's death hits harder because of when it happens. We barely knew him, just a few hours of screen time, yet in that time he gave us warmth, protection, even joy. Our brains are wired to form bonds fast when something feels safe and consistent. That's why people get attached to pets after one day or cry over a character after a single movie. It's called rapid attachment. And here's the kicker. Losing something right after you've bonded to it is brutal. Psychologists call this an attachment shock. It leaves you in disbelief because your mind hasn't had time to prepare for loss. Instead of closure, you get a hole. That's why it felt too soon. That's why it hurt more than if Rengoku had stayed for a whole season and then died. In the moment, it just feels unfair, too fast, too cruel. But if you take a step back, days, weeks, even months later, you start to see the design behind it. Storytelling isn't about giving fans what they want, it's about making them feel. And from that distance, you realize it wasn't random, it was a calculated move. Painful in the present, brilliant in hindsight. That's why today, most fans don't just complain, they admit his death changed everything. There's another layer, the Zygarnik effect. Our brains hate unfinished stories. Rengoku was a character we wanted more of, training arcs, jokes, growth, but his arc was cut mid-flight. That incompleteness lingers in memory longer, making him unforgettable. So what looks like cruelty is actually precision. Demon Slayer weaponized psychology. It gave us something bright, made us love it fast, then tore it away so the wound stayed open, raw, unforgettable. And fans showed exactly this psychology impact. In theaters, whispers turning into sobs, disbelief painted on faces. Online, chaos, worst writing ever versus absolute genius everywhere. Social media buzz lasted for weeks. Even people who hadn't watched were like, yeah, I know, the flame guy who dies. And here's the real juice. Every reaction mattered. The outrage, the sadness, the art, the arguments, it all kept the series alive in conversation. That's the gold. But there's also the ugly side. Some fans got toxic debates turned nasty, and some people were so traumatized by the shock that they couldn't enjoy the series anymore, waiting for the next guy gets killed. This is the cost of bold storytelling. It cuts deep. Rengoku's death flipped the rules. Before, the Hashira felt untouchable. But after he fell, every single fight carried fear. Just look at the next seasons, the Mist Pillar almost drowning, or Nezuko burning. Fans genuinely thought she was gone. That paranoia started here. Akaza? He became more hyped than Muzan or Upper Moon One Kokushibo. That one fight carried him into legend, and it's why the Infinite Castle movie has fans foaming already. Now we've reached a point where it gets interesting. The financial side. Before Rengoku's death, Demon Slayer was already hot. The manga was selling millions, the anime had pushed it to 60 million copies in print, and everyone knew it was big. But it still wasn't history-making big. Then came Mugen Train. Overnight, it wasn't just an anime, it was the anime. The movie made over $500 million worldwide, breaking every record in Japan. Blu-rays sold out. Over 1 million copies in 5 days. Manga shot from 60 million to 220 million in print. Before Rengoku, Demon Slayer was popular, but after Rengoku, it was unstoppable. And the television run? First episode of the arc pulled in around 5 million households, crazy for late-night anime. But it didn't even stop there. Season 2, the Entertainment District arc, blew up again, with almost 10 million households in the first week. And Season 3, even bigger. Some episodes pulled 22 million viewers. That's national television level, not midnight anime. Now, here's the scary what if. Some shows tried the same card, kill a favorite early, go for the shock. Blood Sea is the perfect example. Brutal deaths, big twist, but instead of hype, fans just left. Merch didn't sell, the anime tanked, and the series basically flatlined. That could have been Demon Slayer. Imagine Mugen Train flopping. No Season 2, no Infinity Castle, just another almost big anime lost in the pile. But it didn't fail. Rengoku's death lit a fire under the franchise, and instead of dying out, it turned into one of the most successful anime runs of all time. Rengoku's death didn't just stay on screen, it detonated in the community. Twitter feeds turned into walls of fire emojis, and YouTube filled with tributes. Overnight, he was the name everyone typed, the face everyone drew, I guess. But hype is never just pure. What started as grief turned into obsession. Entire threads spiraled into flame wars. Rengoku versus Akaza, who was right, who was stronger, whether Rengoku's death was wasted. Some fans celebrated Akaza as if he were the real hero. Others accused the story of betrayal. Passion turned sharp, and in places, toxic. That chaos mattered. It showed how much the story cut into people. When an audience argues like their own pride is on the line, the narrative struck something deeper than entertainment. Rengoku's death didn't unify the community, it split it, fueled it, kept it restless. But that's exactly why it worked. Safe stories don't linger, controversial ones echo. And this one, it's still echoing. And that's why I loved that he died.